to create value, because everything else that we have on earth is not created by men, but converted into usable form. So when you look at Africa and say, what is the problem? Is it a human problem? Is it a nature problem, which is in the beginning of time? There are people who were meant to be this or that. You will find that actually there are many people like Mr. Maphosa, and what he has been able to do, what he was talking about, a black business. When you look at the image or the brand of a black man, is business part of that branding? If it is not, then it is within your means to change it. Even the mere fact that he has given up his time to come to the studio to talk to you, he could have said, no, let me go back. I've already done what I needed to do. But nevertheless, he arrived. That time to arrive is the time that you call value. Because he's given up that to share. You find that that conversation or this conversation 100 years from now, it will still be there as fresh as it is. It won't change. So even talking is value. Even comedians offer value, but they're talking.
Given what you just shared, gentlemen, one of the lessons that I drew from Rich Dad Poor Dad is that we must work to learn and focus on our business. That everyone must mind their own business, but when you work, let it be working to learn, not for money. Don't work for money, but work to learn. And that something that I've echoed a number of times over the air, that the rich have money work for them. They make money and have money work for them, whilst the middle class and the poor work for money instead of working to learn and having the money that they make work for them. It's a very interesting take. But then, Mr. Maphosa, do you think that as far as economy is concerned, or the economy is concerned, is there a race dynamic playing a role? Because there's been a mention of black business, and is there a role that race plays when it comes to
the race card? Is it used quite a lot in economics?
You can't run away from it. Our past is inherent. It's there. It's in our face. If you look at why we are what we are, most of the time, yes, after 23 years, we take a lot of blame for it because we've not done certain things that we should have done. Part of it, creating black industries from day one. Secondly, you can't ignore so many years of oppression, and it is indoctrination of how you think. We were raised to say, go to work and do this, wake up, go start, do this, become that, go and get a white man to employ you, go get so and so, anybody else other than yourself to employ you. No, they don't want. I'm telling you that even if we were to ask the domestic workers, most of them don't want to work for them.
They say black people don't pay.
Exactly. Those are some of the things as well.
But this is the identity that they were talking about. You were talking about identity.
Yes.
But I think what is more critical is the identity politics.
Yes.
Because then this groups people together.
Yes, it does.
And you have stereotypes, which then become real. So how do you unmask this stereotype?
From my view, I think we need an agenda. Seriously, as a nation is more Jew now than ever before. A black agenda. Let's not apologize for being black. I didn't choose to be what I am. I was born like this and I'm proud. I'm proud of myself. I'm smelling nice, I look good. And I run businesses that are good. And I pay people and I pay salaries. There's nothing wrong with that.
Black agenda.
We should have a black agenda. And let's not apologize.
Mr. Maphosa, just to jump in there, I get your point. But then don't you think that as much as we could have a black agenda, won't that black agenda draw a line which would be a racial line between black and white? Whilst I personally believe that we need the whites in order for us to be successful, or in order for us to attain or to get to the level we would want to, as far as our ventures are concerned.
Let me answer you very simply and direct. Whose agenda is it in our economy right now? It's not ours. So let's invite them into our own agenda. Then it's our terms.
Yes.
Then we're not going in there as slaves with degrees. Then it's our agenda. I love a man who says to me, listen, I started so many years, I can give you this, but I want you to pay me that. I don't like people walking into my interview and then I say, this is your salary bracket. Let this guy walk out of my office or this lady walk out of my office and I'm saying, but I need it. Now it's up to me to go and look for money. I need that one. I like what I saw, I need it. But can I afford it? Now it's up to me to say, the bar is so high. You know, we've set the bar so low for ourselves as black people. Let's raise the agenda. Okay, I'll give you an example. If we raise the agenda, this is what I always say every day. I always say to them, you know, we talk of South Africa and we say, yeah, this South Africa. I always say, guys, what is it that we've done ourselves as black? Show me one highway. Show me one university. Show me one huge hospital. Show me one gynecological wing, one heart hospital, one neurological wing. Something new that we've done. Show me one epileptic department, which is so huge, and Africa comes to it. Dubai has done that in not a long time, in a short time. Yes. So when we have a black child, what is accepted, what is not accepted, what we call a school, what does a school have, whom do we send to school, who teaches our children, what time do they get there, what do they get, what time do they get out, how do they get out, how do they get home. We're going to look at all the policies, we're going to look at security, we're going to look at everything, because now it's our terms, and we are saying raise a child to be like this. If we want another Mandela, if we want another Thabo Mbeki, we need to sit down and come up with that agenda. Then we are going to deal seriously with Nyaope issues. Then we're going to deal seriously with drug issues. Then automatically he that brings drugs and we've got a death penalty meets it. Then it's not an issue, it's not a topic, it's not a discussion. Why are we discussing issues of children in Nyaope and we pick up the drugs in OR Tambo and we send the people that have got money and they defend themselves in court? Then those issues are not going to surface. Then we've got a black agenda.
Yeah, here's a question from Tinashe here.
Before I get to that question, we have Russell Mateweri is watching on Zimbabwe today. He says, I love this man. I'm looking for employment.
Russell. Are you done?
No, not yet. It's so interesting, Mr. Maphosa, that earlier on you alluded to the fact that Marabastan has been taken over by Somalis and Pakistanians as well. And now you just make mention of, we've been mentioning the black agenda. So the black agenda that you're talking about, when I look at the Pakistani community, when I look at the Somali community that's in Marabastan, I believe that is mutual. The black agenda that you're talking about, is this the idea that we have been talking about of a new mutual?
Yes, we need a new mutual. Started by blacks. At a township somewhere, eating shisanyama somewhere, dancing to kwaito music. Yes, we need that, and we should not apologize for that. We need that.
So this new mutual should only be blacks, or
our agenda would say how much we involve other people, but it's now our agenda. We invite them to our space, not to go there carrying degrees and say, hire me. Now we are saying, come, you'll be hired, come participate, but this is what I can give you, this is what I can give you. It's like you building a 10-bedroom house and you want to just lodge or let out 3 rooms. You invite people to live with you in your house, but you're only letting out 3 rooms. We need black businesses, and I'll tell you why that is important. Without black businesses, we'll continue to talk about unemployment. We'll continue to talk about discrepancies in pays and salaries. We'll continue to talk about all those kind of things because we don't have a black agenda. What is acceptable to pay a domestic maid? What is acceptable to pay a farm worker? We're going to have those issues because those farms are not ours. This is not ours. That is not ours. That doesn't make me a racist. It just says we've got a country that's 90% black, 80% black, but the agenda is not black. There's something wrong with us if we don't set those agendas for ourselves as blacks, when 90% of the population is looking and seeking and looking for a way forward from those that are in power to say, where is our agenda is 80%.
Well, here's another question from Sparks.
Yes, now, Mr. Maphosa, I just want to know, you know how some other people say fake it until you make it. I just want to know, do you feel that attitude really plays an important role in attracting that money?
Yes, it does. Without attitude, you cannot achieve anything.
So if my attitude is towards that money, I'm definitely going to get that money.
Yes, you would. Because I'll tell you right now, you're going to focus on the goal. The attitude always makes you focus on something. It can either be negative or positive. Attitude can be negative or positive. Positive, it will take you up. Negative attitude, yes, you can use some of it, but a lot of it, everything that's done in the extremes has got its own consequences as well.
Okay, here's one more question before we go for an
So, Mr. Maphosa, what's your take on people who look down on black businesses while they are also black? Instead, they rather go to a white shop and not support another black person.
I don't blame them. We as black businesses have not sold ourselves correctly as well. We've shortchanged ourselves. You know, you are prone to be robbed when you go black. It is an end. We shouldn't shy away from that.
Yeah.
So we have not done justice. You know, we've shortchanged that black business, which makes, because the product must be good as well for it to be supported. This is why the agenda is important, because with the agenda we are setting out the parameters to say, when you are in this group, what do you do? Afrikaners did it with the product bond. It worked very well.
Yeah.
It worked very well in the farms. They acquired skills. They acquired a lot of things, and I still work a lot with a lot of Afrikaners. We're a very good community, by the way. You know.
Mr. Maphosa, and to you, Mr. M, as well. When we go back to Black Agenda, do you not think that it did already exist, but perhaps the ideology or the way in which we take it forward has not been led correctly? I mean, there are individuals that are for black business. If I have a black business, I should support black businesses. So the Black Agenda, perhaps the idea was there, but the ideology is not correct, or it's not penetrated in the right way.
Yeah, I think part of it is just to negotiate. I think what Mr. Maphosa is saying is we're coming from a history, from a past that didn't magnify the value that comes from this class of people who can go black.
Okay.
But value at the end of the day is value.
Yes.
And if you look at it and you accept that there's a law of gravity, that in this studio, we are already, it's 100% black. Yes. Your failure to articulate what you want cannot be blamed on those who are not in the studio.
Correct.
So if you have a microphone and you use it, and you build on it, and what brings us here is the agenda of black business excellence, is it? Without Mr. Maphosa's firm supporting BBQ Awards, you will not be here. So, and therefore, that in itself is a catalyst for creating a conversation. Even within families, you still have a surname. A surname itself is an identity. The first name is an identity.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, the stomach is universal.
Yes.
You need to eat. You need food. And you can't say there's white food, there's black food. Food is food. So when we celebrate that, and then the conversation, like you guys were here, talking to yourselves, instead of talking to Mr. Maphosa, you're already internalizing dialogue. Instead of what?
Externalize.
Externalize.
Yes.
And what he's saying is, externalize your dialogue.
Absolutely.
So that your position is known on issues. If we say want a new mutual insurance, it means tomorrow you are on Mr. Maphosa's case. To say, how much are you spending on insurance? If we cannot reduce the insurance bill, he will not take it.
Absolutely.
It has to be interesting.
Yes.
But if it works for him, he'll talk to other people to say, we now have an initiative that we're doing. We're not just generalizing and fighting from the hip. We're fighting based on something. So the first thing, I think he said, no, we don't have an online radio. But the same thing that he has said today is already being seen by many people. And just to prove how powerful social media is, there was a poster, is it yesterday, which showed Mr. Maphosa. Somebody sent a message to me this morning and said, I've been trying to see Mr. Maphosa because I'm a small fish, I won't have a chance. And he was given 5 minutes to talk to Mr. Maphosa. But in the 5 minutes, he didn't even know what to say, which means we need to be more organized.
Yes, yeah.
So before I go to the Pope, I must say my confession to the priest. If the priest doesn't understand my confession, I don't have to go to Rome.
Very profound.
No, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to go for a short break there, and then we can come back and continue with our conversation. You are tuned in live to the 1873 FM, and this is Financial Literacy with Tinashe Mpasiri, Kriyon Tali, Lucy Budimele, and the Spiwe and Spox in studio.
Yeah. It's for someone to hear me when I say, I don't want to hear
Very interesting. Thank you so much. It made financial literacy so much more interesting than us conversating amongst ourselves. So it's really interesting.
But we apologize a lot.
Yes, we do.
For being black.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
We're aware.
No, I don't. No, really, I don't.
I think even everybody that's watching live gets that loud and clear.
How are you, man?
Fine, thanks. I'm pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you
Thank you
too.
so much.
I need to dash back to the office, but you are in good hands here. Tomorrow I'm going to meet you in Randburg at Dexterity radio station
I'll be in, promise.
at 8:30.
I'll leave at 5.
Okay, and then there's more media for you next week, ETV and SABC. So I'll be speaking to George.
Let's make it big.
You even have a
And one of the things that I was saying to
You knew it was going down today.
I said to him,
I didn't know.
if there's any other material that you need to talk about besides
It says the random X of life.
to capitalize on that. And I think Stan did a good job this morning of doing that.
yes.
I personally didn't realize
Yes.
of things that when you talked about the schools,
Yes.
that really resonated with me.
We've got 10, I've got 10 teachers in the and I've got 4 years and I've got 40, in Ordinary we've got about 20 teachers that we pay. Average teacher there gets about 20,000 rand after tax. And I've gone for the model of taking the teachers that are retired because I believe in them a lot.
Yeah.
I take those that are retired. Our teachers are in the 60s. Most of the teachers I pay for are in the 60s. Yeah. We bring them back from
My mom
retirement.
tried to retire, she's a nurse, and then they said no.
You must come back because you can't do without experience. Theory is good to a certain level, but when it's hard and tough, experience kicks in and it makes it come back.
So if you've got any material that's relevant to where you guys are going or that you want to get out there or anything, we can prepare that. We can talk about the big things, but I think we can also capitalize on that.
After the fact that I can sleep, knowing that there's over 2,000 children I'm feeding, it's not much. I give them 2 slices of bread and polony and peanut butter, and then I give them a glass of milk in the morning and a glass of diluted orange in the afternoon. They go home. Even if that child doesn't eat, that child has eaten a few. And if he's not cooked at all, that child is not doesn't have that desire to say, what am I going to eat tonight? I'm going hungry. That child will ignore that process and say, you know what, I'm fully fed.
I need to read them.
Yes.
Congratulations, I believe you're an ambassador here. Congratulations.
It's a good job.
So I know, yeah, we'll do it together. I like that. We'll do it together.
Yeah.
Mr. Emperor, I've got another meeting.
Yeah, no, you said so. Yeah, so later.
I'll see you next
Going
week.
live in 10 seconds.
Priya? He's going to read some messages on WhatsApp, okay? So just announce back and let him read the messages.
Welcome back to the 1873 FM. We're broadcasting live from Rivonia in South Africa, and it is just 28 minutes before top of the hour, which is 11 a.m. Central African time. And in studio with me, I still have Mr. Maphosa and Mr. Mawere. Before we go back to our conversation, and we're taking a very interesting direction of talking a mutual, and we haven't come to the gist of whether we a certain color to it. Mr. Maphosa feels very much that it should have color, but then we'll get to that. Tinashe, you have some comments that have came from our listeners and the viewers.
Viewers on Zimbabwe Today, comments coming in through Simba Gurira. I'm impressed by the analysis and the need for an ideology that embodies this. Then Jacob Mashindi is stating, who is this Maphosa? Russell stated that I adore people who come out and share views. Simba Gurira went on to say, I, however, note that the line of thinking is a bit extreme, and it's probably imperative that as black people, we need to self-introspect. Then Russell Mateveri stated that if given 2 minutes to talk to Boss Maphosa, we'll just say, I don't have capital. Man, let's start from there.
I think just to take from that one. I think to take from that one, it's a question that I had earlier on, Mr. Maphosa, to say, the challenge that we have, the reason why I asked that should we assert color to the economy is because I believe that as our state is right now, as soon as we do that, then we bring back that sense of entitlement, whereby people start to wait now. We had one comment of one person saying that, no, Mr. Maphosa, I want employment. And now we have another one of somebody who's saying, no, they need capital. How do we address that?
Our problem is we look at the bread. We don't look at the bakery. We don't look at the farming part of it. We look at the end result and it stresses us. You will never succeed if what you look at in your business venture is capital from the beginning. You need to look at the idea, perfect the idea, and perfect your selling skills to somebody who's got money. Many people, like you were saying, I spoke to a young guy who seems to have an idea, but he hasn't done much research. And because of that, the conversation didn't go anywhere. I wasn't interested, and I was very honest with him. I said, it looks like you've got a good idea, but I'm not interested because you're not selling it to me. We don't sell our ideas to those that have got money. And because of that, we fail. Secondly, we want instant gratification, instant success. We've become a microwave generation. We don't want to suffer it out. Big Time did not start today and succeed today. I come from 1998 with this company. And it has been coming and falling and coming and falling. Certain things we've done wrong, we've learned from that. Certain things we've done right, we've learned from that. And yes, now let's bring in color into it. My education was paid for by Waldeck. Yes, Mr. Trevor Fisk, you'll be there at the BBQ Awards, you'll see. He's a father, he's my father actually. Definitely he's my father. We talk, me and him twice, 3 times a week. I never go through the whole week without talking to him. Because he's my father. I make sure I see him once a month. He's my dad. We've got that relationship. So, why we are saying we need to have a black agenda is the economy is not black. It is not black. And let's not hide it under the carpet, because one day when we address that, we'll be killing people, which is wrong, and we'll be stealing from people, which is wrong. And we are starting to create that culture of entitlement. Trevor will tell you, he would not have supported me if I was not school savvy. If I was not a brilliant student, if I was not trainable, teachable, he would not have done that, because his man would have gone down the drain. So we support a product. In saying let's have a black industrialist and a black agenda and black businesses, is to make sure that we readdress the imbalances of the past, which we are still looking at, which might become catastrophic in the future if not addressed.
Yeah, we've been joined.
Yes. We're so fortunate that we've been joined by Mr. Frederick Waldeck. Waldeck. A very good morning to you, Mr. Waldeck.
Thank you.
And welcome to the 1873 FM.
I've been coached into it, though. To make a white face in a black woman.
We need more color.
He's part of our community. As I said, we have a Rivonia Boulevard business action initiative where we're trying to impact on one street. And Mr. Maphosa has agreed to be one of our ambassadors. So that we can work together to build just one community, convert radio presenters into educators, and make sure that the content that comes out of our media brings us together. So what Mr. Maphosa has just said is critical, that if you have an ocean and an island, in the island there are very few people. How secure are they?
Yes, true.
In an island of poverty. How do we build these connections?
I think we must be very careful with politicizing, colorizing too much. At the end of the day, it comes to skill. As you quite rightly said earlier, you learn from your mistakes, you learn from the good things you do, but most of all, education, education, education. If we have a failure at schools and we start passing people without the knowledge, because we have to pass people, what skills do they bring forward when they face the world? And so I love entrepreneurs. I even love entrepreneurs with little skill. What they fail to do is to go to somebody with the skills. As you say, sell yourself up. Get a sponsor. You call a sponsoring corporate. I'm ex-Barlows, I'm ex-Genco, I run public companies. And we, as part of our business plans, we had to sponsor one or two people in various divisions. So that you get people who not only have an idea, but people how you need to translate your idea into action. What is action? What is a business? Now, that's what we have to come down to and make it totally colorless. If you're an owner of a business, who are you going to employ? Somebody with the skills. I did a contract in the UK 3 years ago. I didn't ask for color in the newspaper. I wanted people with skills. And if the Asian population, which is very, very big in London, have that skill, they will step forward. Then you employ somebody with skill. So you can rely on a business going forward because the skill is being implemented and exercised. We have a Peter principle in South Africa. We train people from the base up. And because they do well at that level, we automatically promote them to the next level because we're so-called short of skill. We then have Peter Principle. We promote you to the level of incompetence. Again, training failed. There was no training. Don't promote people. What for? Make them, reskill them, retrain them. It has nothing to do with color.
True.
And so, corporate life, what is business in the first place? Business is communication of transferring of a skill, of a product, of knowledge, of whatever it is, depending what field you go into. So, how do you stay in business? Is allowing yourself a value added to that skill. You convince an institution, a person, or whatever, to be in business, meaning I'm selling you something at a value added. That value added I can use to pay more people, employ more people, train more people, buy a car, buy a house, do whatever I need. And we keep on talking about apartheid. And of course apartheid was the greatest sin ever, because we stopped for so many. I did a presentation to Phil Wood. If you saw the man, you could feel sorry for people to go forward in any. In other words, we were driven by fear. All minorities are driven by fear, because you know you're going to lose sooner or later. So you hang on tougher and tougher and tougher for that moment to push it forward. Now that we passed, 25 years later, we keep on talking about apartheid. That's a quarter.
On when I asked you what sparks into your mind when we're talking of money, and you said money follows purpose, and it brings me down to the question of then should we be talking money and color, or should we, if we feel that there is a society or community that is lacking behind, should we be teaching them more about the value that they encompass, the value that they hold, before talking about money? Because, I mean, how do we asset color to money when we're talking money? If Mr. Frederick here was going to give me 100 Rand note, it is from him, from his bank account. As soon as it is in my hand, it is because of the value, the skill he's talking about. We just made an exchange. So now I have his 100 bank or his 100 Rand note. It is in my possession.
How dollars, please. Rand.
Dollars.
To answer you is very simple. To answer you is very simple, my brother. Color exists. Let's not run away from it. Let's not shy away from it.
That's true.
Color in the economy is in your face. It's there. And the longer it stays, the more pain will pay for it. Secondly, I don't think there is anything called a rainbow nation. It is a simmering under the carpet brewing beer, which will be drank someday, and people will be drunk to a moment of stupor with that. There is in rainbow nation. It's not. We are pretending to be okay with each other, but we are not.
So
you want to see it correctly?
Yeah.
Go into the homes. You want to see it correctly? Go into the stadiums. You want to see it correctly? Look at what we do and look at how we handle each other. It is okay. We are civil with my fellow brother and comrade here next to me. But are we going to be civil when we meet tonight at his own restaurant? No, we are not.
No, but this is my question, really, Mr. Maphosa. To say that I understand what you were saying, but let's put the focus on money.
Yes.
Let's talk economics.
Yes.
Now, we have black people in South Africa. We're talking your Patrice Motsepe, we're talking your Sanele Shezi, Sanele Shezi, and we have a number of black people that we can point out to that have recently risen their assets or their words to millions, you know, and they have broken free from what perhaps maybe we can refer to as economical chains. So now we can say they are financially liberated. Now the question is financial liberation a matter of color, or is it a matter of skill? Is it a matter of purpose? Is purpose determined by whether you are black or whether you are white, or purpose is determined by what you are delivering on the table?
Skills are there. Who does the works in all of these businesses? Most of it is black, because we've got an 80 to 90% population, including immigrants and all that and all that. The skills are there. So we are not talking skills. The entry into the economic sector has got barriers, and those barriers must be destroyed. I'll give you an example. I've got a farm. I've got 2 farms in Brits. To get the feed for my dairy cows is a nightmare. And it is easier. I will tell you the way it is. If I call a Fandona to place the order for me, the order will be placed quicker and I will get my feed for my cows. Because there is that entry barrier that, why are you buying 100,000 tons of feed? Who are you? What are you doing? We can't shy away from that. Those things are there. And let's not pretend they're not there. If I've produced X, Y, Z, where is my market? How do I access that market? How do I turn the raw material? Fair enough, I've produced mini-meal, I've produced maize, turned it into mini-meal. Do I have the markets? Who has got a chain store other than OK Bazaars or TM Hyper or ShopRite Checkers or Spar? So how many of us have got Spars?
So how did people like you and the couple of people that I've made mention of make it to where you are now?
We struggle every day. We break the barriers. We fight it. And secondly, we create our own agendas. Right? If you look at how we grow on the backbone of those agendas. Right? What is the agenda? Right? We set the agenda. How will I create this? Where will it go? Who's going to buy it? The agenda, the barriers, even for somebody like me, there are still doors that are closed for me that I cannot go to. Yes, they are there. And I will ask you a question. In the last 10 years, has South Africa created a new billionaire? And if the answer is no, why not?
Very interesting question. I'll answer it with a follow-up question just after asking this question to Mr. Frederick. Your entry into business, how was it? How was the experience, having been in business for the years you've been in business? Was it a walk in the park? Was it a smooth experience? How was your experience, given the accumulations that you've made up to you?
It never is, especially not for an immigrant. When you came to South Africa many years ago, and you had an accent, you weren't part of the club, you hadn't gone to school, you hadn't been in Parktown. So, no, of course, like we just talked about closed doors, we have to fight for it every day. It is the same for everybody. If you come here as an immigrant with nothing in your pocket, who are you? Why should you get the job? Why should you be? And that goes back to skill and quality of the person. Let me tell you, we employ people in the restaurant all the time. 90% fail. 90% don't even say they fail. They just walk away after lunchtime. They don't they don't say anything.
I'm sure, Mr. Mawere, I'm sure you would also attest to a similar experience to that. Of people don't even say goodbye.
So we talk about people. We talk about people. We have certain people out there determined to make it. They make money within 3 months. Why? Because they get the commission and they get the tips. They were determined. So what is the difference? It's the determination of the individual, supported and backed by skill. When we say we have enough skills, the schools are failing. Come on. We're passing people they should not be passed. They do matric, they can barely spell. How can you enter a society? We're fighting in the universities instead of learning. We have so many rights all of a sudden. We don't know what to do with them. So we protest, we break libraries that have taken 100 years to build. We throw in our knowledge on the street and burn it. Come on.
Agreed.
How do you take a language? How do you take a country forward? By the people being determined to make success. You're not getting success. What has peeved me off totally is that the few elite in this country, no names, but who were sponsored by Jonick because Anglo had to be seen to have white shoes on, all of a sudden, or call it black shoes. And they gave people shares. And not even par value. They gave it to them. So they're billionaires. Where are they sharing their knowledge? Where are they sharing their money? Where are they starting 10 new businesses to give the right entrepreneurs a 45% stake with their money, saying you do the work, you have the skill, I'm a billionaire, I want to see this country go forward. No, we go into politics and we argue. And then now the ANC is so imploding that he won't even become president. And there's already so much going against him. And what about our ex-premier of Gauteng, Mr. We all know his name. And where is he setting up 10 businesses every year? I don't much rather have the man who just started Bidvest and has just left. He created business after business by buying them. But don't forget, the boards today, also by law, cannot be just white boards anymore. So we have integration in boards, making what I call, hopefully, merit decision. That is, if you don't look at ESCOM, you don't look at SAA, you know, anything touched by the state is incompetent. I mean, we have to now put 10 billion into SAA. Come on.
I'm glad you actually came to that point, because it comes to the question that I wanted to respond to your question with, Mr. Maphosa, to say, who is responsible for creating billionaires in South Africa?
We are. We vote our governments in, we are.
But who is we? Mr. Maphosa?
We, the citizens, we, the people, have got this in our control. The only difference is you haven't woken up to say we can do anything about it. This is why, for me, a black agenda is very important. A black agenda run from the top is very important. And we should not apologize about it. Because our black agenda will say, who's got the skill? Who's already in the industry? How many industries? I'll give you an example. Can we, at the touch of a button right now, say, in Limpopo or in North in Gauteng, how many black farmers are there in Gauteng? What industry are they in? How many of them have got products that are ripe and ready for sale? Do we know who they are? Do we know where they are? Do we know what problems they are facing? I'm running a dairy farm in Brits. I've not seen anybody come to ask me what I'm going through. I don't. People just pass by and they think everything is okay. People just pass by and they think, he's got it all together. You know, do we have that assistance? Because if we had a black agenda, we should say he's got 500 cows. Let's grow him to 2,000 cows. Let's grow him to 5,000 cows. Let's grow him to this. That would be the agenda of growth. People are already busy. A man in Soweto selling in a spaza shop. Why are we allowing a spa who's a giant to come next to him and shut him down? When we have a black agenda, we'll shut down those economic zones. We'll shut down and have special economic zones where we say you can't compete with this area here, you can't compete with this area here. We'd have to liberate people from there. Spaza shops send people to school. Spaza shops send people to the university. They worked. Today they don't, because malls have shut that down. They've destroyed it at the expense of the greater population, which was already disadvantaged. So now we've brought advantaged people into the sectors of the economy, which are mainly due for those people that are disadvantaged. That's why I'm saying to you, an economic agenda, a black agenda is very vital. Now we're going to say to him, this is the criterion. Mediocrity, we are shutting it down. Now we're going to say, he said something very fundamental. He said, there is so many rights today. I don't agree with what's going on in our schools. I don't agree with the way our kids dress up. I don't agree with the way we are saying, take away this, take away that. The child needs to be raised with a father absent because the father is working. But then you replace him with a teacher who you should give the right authority so that he can take over when the father drops the child.
Well, because of time, Mr. Maphosa, there's one last question. This is going to be the last question from Lucy there. But then I just want to state my observation with regards to what you have just shared before she asks her question. I have seen a lot of black people who have had the privilege or the fortune of getting tenders that are worth hundreds of thousands of rands, and immediately after getting the tender and making profit out of the tender, they go and buy fancy and expensive cars, build lavish houses. I have seen a lot of black people talking about your spas moving into townships. I've seen a lot of black people who leave the township, leave spaza shop, leave spas, and go to the city where the economy is centralized at the moment to put their money there and buy from your ShopRite and eat from your Spur, leaving your Mawotwana and your cow heads in the township. and I have seen a lot of that. And that is why I become a bit challenged when we say that someone has to make someone a billionaire. Because I believe that if I have an opportunity to make a profit in a year from maybe one tender of 200,000, I need to have the necessary knowledge and literacy to be able to capitalize on that 200,000 to make it a million rands. Lucy.
Yes, Mr. Maphosa, I just wanted to ask that, are we not perhaps supposed to be injecting skills and more knowledge before we push the black agenda? Because you made quite a valid example that in a township you'll find that somebody has opened a spaza shop and then a big spa will come there. But what happens if I don't even have the skill and I end up misusing the money anyway and the shop shuts down? Do you not think that we need to rather instill knowledge, instill skills, so that at least when we have those fundamentals and then we come in and say, here is the black agenda, but we have a better understanding of things, and by that we have a tool so we can actually sustain the black agenda? Because black agenda in theory is nothing if we actually can't even sustain it by having the skills, by having the knowledge and that shared understanding. And once we have all of those, then we're in a better position to build a community of a shared understanding, and our businesses therefore will be in a better position to grow, and that will result in progress effortlessly.
The skills are there. The economy is running. Who's working in the economy? The skills are there. So I don't think, yes, improving skills, yes, I agree. But general skills, they are there. What is lacking is the drive from the top down. People will go back to Soweto if Soweto becomes keen, if Soweto becomes smart, if Soweto becomes safe, if Soweto has got amenities, if we've got play areas, if we've got this black agenda. Let's make Soweto a priority, an example. We're starting from there. People would start industries in Soweto. They'll put hotels. There was a Protea hotel there next to, when you come into Klipspruit Valley, there is a hotel there next to, I think it's Hector Peter. No, it's not Hector. There's there's
a Soweto hotel in Kliptown.
Yes, in Kliptown, the Soweto hotel. Yes, I'm talking about that. Do we go there? Would you feel safe? I've gone there the other day. I didn't feel safe. When I got out, I didn't feel safe. When I was driving out, I didn't feel safe.
As much as there are skills in the township.
Yes, there are skills. But I'm saying, now, whose job is it to make it safer? Now we need to go back to that agenda. If the agenda is to make Soweto a living town, which has got over 5 million population, and we want to make it live and vibrant, we are going to make it safer. We are going to clean it every day. We are going to arrest you when you litter. There is nobody. We are going to have a lot of policemen watching it, making sure that we did it with the World Cup. It was successful. Joburg Central was alive with the World Cup. We had our courts working till 10 o'clock at night. Did we do that for the people that were foreigners? Did we do it for those people that were visiting us for 10 days, 5 days, 2 days, 3 days? We did it and it worked. You could get arrested now and you are charged and you are sentenced now and you pay a fine now. We did it during the World Cup. So we know what to do. But do we have the willingness to do it? That's where the black agenda comes in.
And comments that are coming through, that is on Zimbabwe Today. Zakile Mabaso says, Mr. Maphosa is our #1 customer at VZ Tires in Bulawayo and Alignment. We love this man. May God bless him abundantly. And Pride Boweni said, inspiring. And Zakile, it's Menelesi Ngube. Mr. Maphosa, what Mr. Maphosa is doing is very impressive. how is his take on the lack of bursaries for international students who, because of the ill economies from back home, are unable to study further and pursue their dreams like he did? Surely he is an inspiration.
No, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we cannot extend our discussion any further. It has been a very interesting one. I'm sorry to have taken more than 4 or 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
And thank you, Mr. Frederick, for joining us. You can just say your last words to the listeners with regards to the subject, and you would follow Mr. Maphosa and Mr. Mawere there at the corner.
In one sentence.
You can start, Mr. Frederick.
Thank you. It is an endless subject. It starts with the people. You can do anything from the top down, and we're seeing the government and the ANC from the top down. If that is an inspiring picture, then start again. It is a disaster picture. The DA have started taking over the big cities, and we're starting merit performance. All is based on merit. It is will, it is the individual, it is determination, transfer of skills, applying skills. And if your school system and your education system fails, where do the next skills come from? And we're now training. What has happened to the farms in Zimbabwe? Are they producing? We're not even producing 10% of the tobacco we did 25 years ago. Is that the example we want to go for? The answer is no. Give, take. Do nothing with it, have no knowledge, no efficiency, no productivity, no will. Just the getting, just taking. Start building, brick by brick, person by person. And if I tell you that 90% of, in a simple restaurant, the people fail and walk away, that is the picture of this country. And it's only 5 to 10% maximum that have the determination, the will, and the skill, the drive to pursue it. Anything ultimately from the top down fails. Has to be bottom up.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you very much. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Mr. Maphosa, your last word?
My last word is I love the show.
Thank you.
I think we have loved having you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Mawere.
Yeah, I think you didn't tell them that there's a leadership show. That I think what Mr. Maphosa is talking about is not just financial literacy.
Yes.
He's saying where is leadership to be found? And I think you're also saying the same thing.
Yes.
What values can drive, even in Rivonia Boulevard? How do we bring business into the community?
Yes.
And how can we borrow even a person like Mr. Maphosa just to come once a year? To have lunch at your restaurant. And that way, if all the people who want to see him, the only condition is that they must buy a plate.
You see, to answer you simply, the boulevard is called the boulevard.
Yeah.
A boulevard in Europe.
What is a boulevard?
A boulevard is not, in the olden days, it was a big walkway somewhere in a town where, especially on Sundays, all the people would horse and carriage and display their beautiful clothes. Now, on a Sunday, we have the possibility to close it off to traffic because it is a non-going anywhere street, really.
That's right.
And make it into a people's street, boulevard.
Boulevard.
We can have stalls there, we can have some music there, we can have people with children walking there. In other words, in Joburg, where do you go on a Sunday? Where do you go on a Sunday?
No.
Actually, no. You go to Zoo Lake, it is so full now, you have to sit with somebody else, you know. You have to pick so if you go to the market in Fourways, expect you can't find parking. We have nowhere to go. So it is an ideal opportunity to each and every little community must create its own oasis, its own venture,
its own kind of
don't
boulevard.
point the finger at somebody else. Start here. As Einstein said, if you want to change the world, start here. Start with yourself. I can't point fingers at you. You can't point fingers at me. So we have to make the boulevard into a Sunday walkway, eat way, be merry, happy way. So we all can feel good vibes. We're so burdened by many bad vibes. You've got, I've not got, you did this wrong, I did this wrong, you're doing this now. So if we can share the moments that we all can be, can be in the street and bring your children, have something to eat, listen to some music, put yourself in a better spirit. Will that carry you forward into Monday? It would.
Yeah,
so Monday, my son is a big advisor now in Cape Town, purely analysing the people working in businesses. What he's finding is that 90% of the people are scattered in their opinion of the business, have no idea where the business is going. Management hasn't shared their incentive, they haven't shared their objectives, they haven't shared anything. Furthermore, second level is never listened to. Because there's always another boss just sitting above that has the same face. So take that all away, start taking management levels, sin the bloody thing, and then start listening more to the people on the ground. But start building companies where we're listening to people, let them make input. Our waiters are shareholders in our business. They get commission, they get the tips, and they must come forward every day with new suggestions. And I watch them. They don't have 10 tables, they each have X amount of tables. I watch you go to the table. Are you serving from the right? Are you taking from the left? Is your mannerism right? How do you speak? When does the menu arrive? That's training. That's giving service. Business is giving service. I'm giving you a service to your needs at that particular time, whatever that is. I don't care if it is milk or if it is a steak on your plate. If the steak isn't right, if it wasn't presented right, you already feel, oh, not good. Eating out is an experience. It's not just filling your face. That comes with skills.
Yeah.
And I don't... All the people there are black. You say, yeah, of course. Well, every forecourt is black. Even if you're white, you can't go unless you go to the Bloemfontein. You might, over the holiday season, that's the only time you see a white standing on the forecourt taking petrol. So we can be as political and as thoughtful of colour as you wish. At the end of the day, it's people, people, people.
No, thank you.
People with skills.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fred. We'll definitely take up this idea, since we are a community that embraces ideas that advance cohesion and humanity. So we'll definitely take up the idea of Sundays in Boulevard, and I'm hoping with much confidence that Mr. Maphosa would be joining us on a regular basis on this Sundays to come and embrace his role within the community. And for people who actually love his ideas and his thoughts, to be able to come and interact with him and engage with him. Otherwise, it's 5 minutes before 11 o'clock, and we are just going to go for a short musical break, and when we get back, we'll be continuing with leadership literacy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.